Well, thank you so much for that amazing intro. She actually she doesn't have any stories about teaching me because I never actually was taught by Miss KM. I was too busy running around with my delinquent friends, making Father Lobert and Mr. Stout's life pretty miserable. But it was just a different Richard back then. We were a little bit of troublemakers, but like in the best and most positive of troublemaking. We all...
No real trouble, just fun trouble.
Just graffiti and miscellaneous other things. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for having us. I mean, this is really surreal to be here, especially being honored with someone like DC who has actually accomplished things as opposed to us.
Yeah, when we first heard about this, it was kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? And then we heard that DC was being honored, and we were like, why are you inviting us? Doesn't really make any... So yeah, we're pretty much here for him, for the most part. He actually was my cross-country and track coach the entire time. So I know firsthand that he does things, does important things, and has done far more of those things than we have. But anyways, just one second. We did make a movie, and I will say that the scene that was about to come up, where we were at Barton Pond and that whole area, I would have not even known about that part of the city were it not for running there because of cross country. So even in the movie that we made, you can see his influence around it.
And his influence continues because, for better or worse, we learned a lot about what we know about women from the which is probably why our mother is still waiting for grandchildren. It's too bad Spike isn't here. I don't know if his advice would really be appropriate for this setting, but maybe after a few more drinks we could revisit the life lessons of Larry Rudnicki. But also, we had our mom come up. I think we should all give our mom a round of applause because she's so supportive of everything that we do and all of her prayers. She has a direct line with God, and she helps us get all this stuff done. So I just want to introduce our mom. And you know, Richard was a huge part, and is still a huge part of our lives, and especially moving out to LA. You hear all these stories about LA and how, oh, you can't make it in LA, and you've got to know people, and everyone's crazy, and doing drugs and all this stuff, and the vast majority of that is true. But what Richard allows us to do is it really provided us with a great moral compass to kind of continue to be ourselves as we go out into the world and into the Hollywood landscape, and a lot of that credit goes to both our parents and also Father Lobert, who created an amazing environment for us to learn about the Catholic faith and question things and disappoint him and make him happy from time to time. And I'm still all friends with, none of my friends are here because they have kids and are doing real world things, but I'm still great friends with everyone that, you know, you were so surprised actually graduated. And they're lawyers and everyone's doing well. So, and Richard is obviously such a huge part of that.
I agree. Specifically, I want to say thanks to Miss Cam because I was just thinking about it. She's the first one who taught me how to diagram plots of a story in a book. And still to this day, when I'm writing anything, I actually write the rising action, the climax, and everything like that, and figure out where on that line all the plot points that I'm putting together fit. So for anybody who wonders like, oh, how does anything that I learned in high school actually apply to the real world? I won't claim that we actually live in the real world, but for what it's worth, we really did learn things at Gabriel Richard and took away a lot of things. And a lot of great relationships that continue to this day that really have affected us and made us who we are, and we appreciate that immensely.
So thank you. And we should give a shameless plug. We do have a TV show actually premiering tomorrow night on the Big Ten Network. If any football fans who are going to be tuning in for the Michigan spring game, a show that we created, that's one of the many TV shows, projects we have at Funny or Die, is premiering tomorrow night at midnight on the Big Ten Network. So if that's too late for people, it actually makes sense because a lot of people who are watching the spring game will go right into the show that's starring this really funny comedian named David Allen Greer, who some of you might remember from In Living Color. He went to Michigan, so the show is bringing David Allen Greer back to Michigan to kind of have this amazing reunion weekend. Not all that dissimilar to the night we're having right now. Except the only person filming it is Evo. So that's midnight tomorrow, and yeah, we also have another TV show that we're in post on now that is for a big cable company, a big cable channel that's another Michigan project. So our mom is getting quite used to us sleeping on the sofa and making her make us breakfast and all the other things that she's been doing for a long time.
I do also want to say that we've heard great things about, I think, a whole new art center that's being built for the high school, which I think when we were back there, I remember there was that old roller skating rink on Platt, and then they converted that to a theater. The new digs sound far, far more impressive than that. It's nice to see that things have really evolved since, hopefully since back when we were there. So yeah, I'm really excited to see that, and hope everybody here is a part of that, because what's great is that things like, I don't know, I remember when I was in college and I thought about being an English major, and my dad was like, what about law school? What about biology? That kind of thing. But you know, honestly, it's just like Miss Cam was saying, the arts really do lead not only to futures for the people who are involved, but they give you a great chance to have a voice to tell people like the world about, you know, great places like Gabriel and that kind of stuff. So I think being able to support that at Father Gabriel Richard is the kind of thing that will really pay off in the future and help the world hear even more about our high school from here on out. That's why I come to say something like meaningful and beneficial to the school. Yeah, there you have it. That's the best I can do.
You did well. Pretty good for someone who didn't even want to talk at his high school graduation. It went a long ways.
I don't regret that decision.
All right, thank you very much. Have a great night.